Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you. And we know that on Sunday in practice from Santa Clara during 49ers training camp, Trey Lance had struggled. But after an off day on Monday, he comes back on Tuesday and has his redemption and revenge practice. So we're here to talk about it on today's show. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube by hitting that red sub button down below. For those of you listening live on Callin, we appreciate you for supporting what we do. If you want to download the Callin app, you too can call into the show. It's like Twitter Spaces, but even better. You see the link down below. It's chatsports.com/49ers Callin. Before we get started with our news, notes, and analysis from 49ers practice today, if you're tuned in on YouTube and listening live on Callin, I want to hear from you in the comment section. Just type real one right now. So on Sunday, Trey Lance, 4 of 12, a lackluster practice for him, and he threw a bad interception to Fred Warner. And on Saturday, he also wasn't really that good. Threw a pick six to Jimmie Ward, but then came back and responded in a way in which great quarterbacks do. Led the team on a scoring drive in about a minute 15, minute 20, and completed a nice little touchdown pass to Ray-Ray McCloud, where he got out of the pocket, fired back across the field, and found Ray-Ray McCloud at the horn to give the Niners offense the win over the Niners defense. And that Niners defense, they are locked and loaded and one of the best units in the National Football League. The big question when it comes down to Trey Lance and how he performed over the weekend with that off day yesterday, how would he be able to bounce back? And he responded today in really impressive fashion. Very strong showing. It may have been his best practice so far of Niners training camp, which comes at a good time with the Niners taking on the Green Bay Packers on Friday night in their preseason opener. The numbers, a little bit mixed across the board depending on who you follow. Let's go with 14 of 19 for Lance, breaking the defense down in the process with his arm as well as his legs, including a splash play in the first play of overall team drills, a 65-yard touchdown run in which Lance beat the defense around the edge. He was spring free because of a Deebo Samuel block downfield that helped pave the way for him to take it to the house. And also Trey Lance doing a couple of nice things with his arms as well, but showing that mobility and that dual threat for this Niners offense. He threw a red zone touchdown to Deebo Samuel. Most importantly today, though, from practice, no interceptions, scored 3 touchdowns, and that 65-yard scamper was really, really impressive. And what's important for a quarterback on top of size, accuracy, arm strength, football IQ, and mental processing? All of those attributes are really important for a quarterback. What's also really important, though, for a QB? Mental makeup. And players said on Sunday, after that lackluster practice, we're not worried about Lance because he has that short mindset and that short memory. We expect him to rebound and recover very quickly, and Lance was able to do that today. What about Lance excites you the most? I'm putting you to the test in the comment section on Callin as well as YouTube. What excites you the most about Trey Lance? Let me know right now and join the conversation in the comment section. Before we start taking your calls, as we have a couple of people in the caller queue on Callin, do want to talk about Javon Kinlaw. He has been one of the winners so far during Niners training camp. We know the story about Javon Kinlaw. First-round pick out of South Carolina back a couple years ago. Year one in that COVID year, barely played as Brandon Ayuk shined as the latter first-round pick. And then last year for Kinlaw, couldn't stay on the field once again. Going back to his days at South Carolina, he battled knee injury issues. That reared its ugly head in year one. It was also a problem in year two. So Kinlaw, in the middle of last year, had to get that ACL repaired on, and the recovery process has been lengthy, but he's on the field participating in practice, and in a lot of instances, he's been able to beat former second-round pick Aaron Banks in a lot of one-on-one drills, and Javon Kinlaw looked really good in the process. And of course, there was that drama from this past offseason in which he hopped on the show with Grant Cohn. They went back and forth, and Kinlaw couldn't control his emotions. And let's be real, it was a bad look for him as well as the Niners organization that he couldn't control those emotions. But if he's able to harbor those emotions and then take it out on opposing offensive linemen all throughout the season and live up to those expectations of being that former first-round pick, then Kinlaw can get back on track and start being the player that the Niners had envisioned when they drafted him back in 2020. He has all the ability. He has the physical attributes. This guy has so much talent. He just needs to stay on the field. And if he's on the field, given the talent level on this Niners defensive line and this defense could legitimately be one of the best in the National Football League. And he could really change the complexion of the interior for that defensive front because he could be good against the run, he could be good against the pass, and when you look at Kinlaw, outside of Nick Bosa, among all defensive linemen on this Niners roster, you're like, man, this guy's a physical menace. This guy looks as though him and Nick Bosa were put together in a lab. Like, they are special athletes, and Kinlaw can be overpowering. Just needs to stay on the football field. But up to this point, he's talked about having this dog mentality. I want to see it translate to the football field, and in training camp up to this point, he has been very, very impressive. Now I want to start taking your calls here on Call-In, and this is why you download the Call-In app. Yes, I appreciate you for subscribing on YouTube, tuning in on YouTube, but on Call-In, we're going to be doing post-game shows, and we're going to be reacting to these games live. You have an opportunity to call into the show and be a part of the conversation like we're about to do right now. So I'm looking at the caller queue right now, see a couple of people who are on board. We're going to begin with our first caller being Draco. Make sure you unmute yourself. You're live on the 49ers Report. Can't wait to hear from all of our subscribers. Draco, make sure you unmute yourself so that you can join the show. I see you unmuted yourself. What do you got for me, my man?
I was going to say, you probably hear me on Apex right now.
You're good, bro. What's happening?
But I'm really waiting for the game because Trey turned up today. Like I knew, as expected. You know, they say he gets better and better, and that's what I'm gonna wait to see as he gets better and better. And yeah, this game it's gonna be a lot of fun. I know a lot of starters ain't gonna be in. I'm trying to see if Danny Gray and all them other boys gonna come out to show up and show out because they've been blaming it a lot on the defense, and we got a number one defense. All right, let's see. You plan to get some square bob number two defense. Let's see what y'all talking about.
Yeah, I think Draco makes some really good points, and we're going to run through these calls a little bit quicker so that we can include you on our YouTube show. But Draco makes a good point about Trey Lance. There are going to be bumps in the road. There are going to be hurdles that he has to overcome. He is going to run into some problems and make some ill-advised mistakes. And there are going to be moments in which he makes dumbfounding decisions with the football. But you have to be patient with Trey Lance and keep in mind that he's an inexperienced quarterback, not just at the NFL level. Also going back to North Dakota State, where he played one game in 2020 because of that COVID-shortened year, and then one full season of FCS football, and then last year only made 2 starts. So far in training camp, it's been the perfect encapsulation of what I expected from Trey Lance. There were going to be ups. There were going to be wow plays and splash plays. There were also going to be some negative plays as well. You have to live with it, you have to expect it, and you have to accept it. Because at the end of the day, what does Lance also possess? He's 6'4", 225, has one of the strongest arms in the NFL. Ray-Ray McCloud said today that he reminds him a lot of Josh Allen, a player who Ray-Ray McCloud entered the league with. And you continue to see these things about Lance, of him having a great makeup, him responding to adversity. That's what the great quarterbacks do. And the fact that he can unleash the deep ball and add that element to the offense. But also today, run for 65 yards. You know who was never doing that? Jimmy Garoppolo. So that's the level of ability that Trey Lance brings to the table. And as far as Danny Gray goes, he has to show that he can be worthy of that 3rd round overall selection. Danny Gray is the guy who last year at SMU picked up a bunch of yards after the catch. And I think that's what attracted the Niners in the pre-draft process, because no, he's not Deebo Samuel from a physical standpoint, but can he be creative with the ball in his hands like Deebo Samuel in this offense, and can we scheme him open so that he can cause havoc in the open field? He's going to be going up against backups. He's going to get some significant snaps because he certainly needs them. It's up to Danny Gray to really show up and show out. Next up on the 49ers Report, going to go to Drew. Drew, welcome on to the show. Great to hear from you again. Make sure you unmute yourself. And what's happening today?
What's going on, Chase? It's good to talk to you, man. I'm so pumped. I'm even more excited than I was last week. And I'm just as an update, I am coming around to the whole Deebo Samuel thing, looking into it further. Thank you for the information last week.
No problem. I got you.
It's good it's good to see our guy get paid. I'm actually cooling off on that. It's pretty pumped, and I'm really excited that we are going to stretch the field big time this year. BA's got it down. At least through training camp, he's been a hero. You always know that George is going to be good. Blocking and receiving downfield. I'm so excited to see the potential for passes to be thrown outside the numbers down the field, and then to have that dual threat RG3 style running game that we can take an advantage of as well. My biggest question is, do you think Ray-Ray McCloud is going to be a big contributor? I know he's a good special teams guy, but from what I've seen, some camp footage and stuff, that he is tearing it up too in training camp. So thanks for your time, Chase, and I'll talk to you next week.
Great call, as always, from Drew Lucero, and let's run through what Drew was talking about. When you think about this Niners offense in years previous, they relied a lot on the ground game, and I expect them to rely a lot on the ground game this year because that's what Kyle Shanahan likes to do. Like, that is the foundational piece of this offense. But what they also lack with Jimmy Garoppolo, a downfield explosive attack, and a quarterback who had and posed the threat of running the football. And Lance is able to unleash the deep ball. He's able to pose that threat of being a runner, but that also makes the run game more dangerous because the defense isn't sure what's coming. And this offense will, in turn, become more unpredictable because you're not sure if Lance is going to run it, if he's going to hand the ball off or hold it, if he's going to unleash it deep. He can also complete basically every throw along the football field, in between the hashes, outside the numbers, stretch the field vertically, and Jimmy Garoppolo kind of did what he was most comfortable with doing, and just playing pitch and catch and playing point guard within this offense. And that's fine when you're not making mistakes, and that's fine when you have the offense going in a rhythmic fashion. But the Niners were 3-5 to start last year and struggled to find a rhythm, and this offense was really, really hard to watch. Now, after the Niners overcame that slow start, they were able to find their footing. They were able to get it together. This offense was more rhythmic, and they became a really fun unit to watch, and Garoppolo's completion percentage was around 70%. But Trey Lance just offers so many elements to this offense that we really haven't seen before. And I thought what Kyle Shanahan said this week about what you look for in a modern quarterback was really interesting. He said, you want Drew Brees' accuracy with Lamar Jackson's athleticism. Now, the accuracy for Trey Lance is something that needs to improve. There's no question about that. But the athleticism is something that he has. So if he is able to work and improve upon the accuracy, which is something that Josh Allen did year one coming out of Wyoming, he completed 55% of his passes. By year three, completion percentage was about 70%. So you can work on those types of things. And if Lance is able to do that, my goodness, he could really be scary in this league. And then elsewhere, with what Drew was talking about, just this overall offense just being more dynamic, I think that's what we're going to see here in 2022, and I think that's why a lot of people are excited about what Kyle Shanahan can draw up. Mike Silver, by the way, formerly of the NFL Network, just hopped on board the San Francisco Chronicle and put together a pretty good article on how this could be one of Kyle Shanahan's best coaching seasons this year, and one of his ultimate flexes, because everybody was talking about how Trey Lance wasn't ready to play. If Shanahan's able to develop Lance and put him into a position where he is ready to play and where he can succeed, that will be a nice little coaching flex from Kyle Shanahan. Next up on the Niners Report, we're going to pivot gears to David. He's always bringing the energy on the show. David, welcome on to the Niners Report. What do you got for me? And good to hear from you again.
Yeah, what's up, man? Just chilling. Yeah, like Draco said and Drew, yeah, they have to be ready and play some football. Football's here.
Football is here, man. How does that make you feel? Just hearing that sentence. Football is here. How does that make you feel, David?
I've been waiting for football season since last year, and can't wait. And yeah, getting pumped up for these games.
You going to be joining our watch party on Friday, my guy?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Nice. You got anything else for me?
Good luck. Let's go Niners all day, every day, and talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good. David, tuning into our call-in shows every single week. Do appreciate his support as well as his passion. Let's take a look at the caller queue here. Haven't heard a lot from Rick, so I'm going to make Rick the next caller on the Niners Report. Welcome to the show, Rick. Make sure you unmute yourself, and we appreciate you. Oh, he hopped off the caller queue. So let's go to Evan now. Evan, you're going to put on your general manager hat again, I assume. What are you going to do in the shoes of John Lynch now? Because I know you're always coming up with some trades and roster transactions.
You know me so well.
Yes. Welcome back, man.
Yeah. Honestly, how the Niners been going on in practice is pretty well. Like, the one thing I really impressed me was Ray-Ray McCloud. Like, I think they should use him in more of a Deebo Samuel way, so Deebo don't get hurt all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Ray-Ray McCloud is certainly a really intriguing player. Up to this point in his career, he hasn't really had ample opportunities to prove what he can be as a consistent down-in, down-out wide receiver. He's been more of a gadget guy. Reverses, pitches, handoffs, bubble screens, but also last year in the NFL, he was statistically one of the best punt and kick returners in the NFL. And when you are a successful punt and kick returner, you are elusive, you are explosive, you have that breakaway speed. So I'm excited to see what Kyle Shanahan can do with Ray-Ray McCloud in this offense. Is he just a gadget guy, or can he be more than that? That's what I'm excited about with Ray-Ray McCloud. Anything else, Evan?
Yeah, I was wondering if everyone, like, the other videos I keep saying is already gonna worry if, like, who's gonna be the number 2. And honestly, I think this preseason we're gonna see Brock Purdy step up and probably overshadow the Niners number 2 and probably maybe even be like a Taysom Hill type quarterback.
Okay, nice little bold take there from Evan. So Brock Purdy, a little bit of a different quarterback as compared to Taysom Hill. In fact, they're much different quarterbacks. Taysom Hill at BYU was just an all-around athlete, and with the Saints, an all-around athlete who could be used in that H-back role, playing a little tight end, in some wildcat formations. He could line up, take the shotgun, and scamper for 10 yards, and he was bad as a quarterback at the NFL level. Now, as a switch of pace, as a switch up within an offense, Taysom Hill does offer a lot of versatility, but you don't want him being a consistent quarterback in this league because he's just not a quarterback in the National Football League. But Brock Purdy is a different type of player. Now, he does have some athleticism. He has some escapability. His arm, not really that strong, but maybe he's a little bit more accurate as a passer as compared to a guy like Taysom Hill. I don't expect him to unseat Nate Sudfeld as quarterback number 2. I actually think that San Francisco is going to go with Trey Lance as QB1, Nate Sudfeld as QB2, and only keep 2 quarterbacks on the initial 53, then have Brock Purdy on the practice squad. That's what I envision happening. Last pick in the NFL draft this past year in the 7th round. You're not expecting much from him, but he is one of the players who I'm excited to watch in Friday's game against the Green Bay Packers. So with that, we're going to round out our YouTube segment with this. Friday night, preseason opener against the Green Bay Packers. Who are you most excited to watch outside of Trey Lance? Give me a name right now in the comment section.